They built an airfield inside Iran, 200 miles inside Iran, one downed airman. Enemy forces closing in, and the United States military just pulled off one of the most daring rescue operations in modern American history. That's not hype. That's what happened. And you can see the layout of the land here, which would be a very good spot for a runway for an emergency rescue mission. The bottom line, the weapons system officer from that downed F-15 is home. That's the big story here. There's a lot of people on the left, a lot of people on the right that are freaking out because of the equipment that was lost to rescue this pilot or this weapons system officer. But what they're not talking about is the amount of equipment that was left behind in Afghanistan by the former president. And they're not talking about the importance of this weapons system officer being recovered. The amount of bad things that would have happened to him if he would have been captured. Because this gentleman knows military capabilities. He knows operational security. He knows attack plans. He knows tactics. And the Iranians would have done anything to extract that. Horrible and heinous acts to get that information out. So is this gentleman important? Absolutely. Is every American life important? You damn right. The weapons system officer from that downed F-15 is back home, back on American soil, back on American-controlled territory. No additional U.S. casualties during the rescue. Let that sink in for a second. We went 200 miles deep into Iranian territory, and we set up an airfield in the middle of the desert. We landed two C-130 airplanes and extracted our guy before the sun came up without losing a single person. That is who we are. That is who the United States military is. That is who patriots are. We don't leave a man or woman behind. Now, we've got a lot to cover on here, and the images are stunning. This is Jerry Bruckheimer level Hollywood movie type material. So this is the estimated location. It gives the lats and longs. That's the image I just showed you of this area. And you can see, I'll put that back up there, and I'll put some of the wreckage photos down here of what was left behind. Because the C-130, I guess it had a flat tire, and they blew it. And they blew what was inside of it because they didn't want the Iranians to get what the Afghans have, which is military equipment. You can see the photos here. I don't know how these photos were leaked. It's none of my business, but you can see the wreckage. That's what the Iranians have. And that's what we gave up to get our guy. These photos are stunning. And this is probably an image depicting how they destroyed that C-130 with this AH-6 helicopter. And when you're a pilot behind enemy lines and you see this coming for you, you're probably going to feel a little bit better about your chances. This is one of these AH-6s that's getting pushed out the back of a C-130. The crew rolling it out, ready to go, which is probably what they did when they landed in the desert to get their guy. But the big story, we got our guy back. And these new images coming out are nothing short of amazing. And it's nothing short of amazing the lengths that we will go to keep our people safe and to bring them home. This image here depicts these Special Operations Forces fast roping down. It's probably exactly what was seen. President Trump put out a post on Truth Social detailing all of this. We got him, fellow Americans, over the past several hours. United States military pulled off one of the most daring rescues ever. The part that is interesting, a lot of people are overlooking, he was behind enemy lines in treacherous mountains of Iran, being hunted down by our enemies, who were getting closer and closer by the hour. He was never truly alone. Commander-in-Chief, Secretary of War, Chairman, Joint Chiefs of Staff, fellow warfighters were following and monitoring his location 24 hours a day. So these pilots have a transponder. They have some kind of transponder attached to the seat that they can track them. So we knew where he was at. We didn't know how we were going to get him. It ended in let's sacrifice some equipment and let's get our guy back. Here we've got some images of this map of where the pilot went down, where the wreckage was found. And this is 200 miles inland from Karg Island. It's about 150 miles south of Tehran. So we know what the pilots were doing. We know what they were doing. A couple of days ago, a US F-15 goes down over the western Iran, 2-person crew. The pilot gets out fast, a couple of hours. He's recovered. During that first rescue, Black Hawks are taking surface-to-air fire from Iranian forces. An A-10 providing cover was shot down in the process. That pilot ejects, gets recovered safely. The Wizzo, the second crewman, he's still out there behind enemy lines, hiding, evading, and then at the same time, getting into a tactical position for the rescue. Now, I'm going to say this. Here's where it gets unbelievable, as if all of this is already normal. The unbelievable part is the CIA launched a deception campaign spreading word inside Iran that United States forces had already found this pilot and were already moving. While the Iranians were chasing ghosts, the agency uses what they're calling exquisite capabilities to locate the airman. He's in a mountain crevice outside of Isfahan. Isfahan's one of Iran's major cities, one of their key nuclear hubs. The president orders an immediate rescue operation. SOCOM executes according to the New York Times. At one point, this airman injured. So they report he was injured. Alone, deep in enemy territory, he hiked up a 7,000-foot ridge line. And I believe that ridge line image is here in the distance there, to get better signal with this transponder that he's carrying. You can see it here. He had a beacon, but deliberately wasn't using it because the Iranians could track it too. He stayed disciplined. He stayed hidden. He did his job. He reverted to his training. Meanwhile, United States attack aircraft overhead are dropping bombs on Iranian convoys, trying to close in on his position. Now, here's the part of the story I want you to really sit with. The United States military built a forward arming and refueling point, a temporary airfield, right here on the ground, 200 miles inside the country. C-130s landed. They offloaded the helicopters. C-130s landed. They offloaded the helicopters. We're talking MH-6 Little Birds, depicted here. Fuel, ammunition. They set up an entire operation hub within range of Isfahan. In one period of darkness, one night, and then in a final twist, 2 of the transport planes get stuck on the exfil. They can't get them out. So what do? We fly in 3 new aircraft, load everyone up, blow up the stuck planes in place. We're not leaving equipment for Iran to reverse engineer like Joe Biden did in Afghanistan. We blow them up on Iranian soil and still got everyone home before sunrise. There's a lot of people that are upset by this. There are a lot of people that wanted America to fail, that bet against America. I've seen people online trying to extrapolate this out. If we could do this and we could lose a pilot, then Trump's lost the war. I'm sorry, guys, for the doomers and black pills. You're wrong. Don't bet against the American military. Don't bet against special forces. Don't bet against the will of this American pilot that was down. You can't do this and have any level of credibility, because what this tells me is we can project force deeper into Iran than maybe even the Iranians believed we could. That matters for future operations, for aircrew, for confidence, for deterrence.
he has just threatened Iran in extraordinary graphic terms, giving the Iranian regime just over a day to either make a deal, reopen the Strait of Hormuz, or face hell. If your children are watching, be warned, the president did not use polite language. Quote, Tuesday will be Power Plant Day and Bridge Day, all wrapped up in one in Iran. There will be nothing like it. Open the fucking strait, you crazy bastards, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. We should note that destroying civilian power infrastructure is generally considered to constitute a war crime under international law, though the president could argue that the infrastructure has dual use and also is utilized by Iran's military.
So what you saw there with CNN was nothing but cope, strategic cope. Jake Tapper, spare me the pearl clutching when the president says what he said. You know as well as I do what Iran has been doing for the last 47, 48 years. But it's interesting to see the faux outrage by the liberal left, by the news media, that Trump is the bad guy for posting a strongly worded True Social post. The same people that were wanting this pilot to be captured were dancing in the street when Charlie Kirk lost his life. Were dancing in the street in Butler, Pennsylvania, when it was this close to ending the president's life. So spare me the faux outrage. Spare me your theatrics. I've had enough of it. And I think the American people have had enough of it.
This story of us rescuing this airman is nothing short of incredible. And what the United States military is able to pull off, I mean, it's just amazing. So,
we're the only ones.
I mean, to say that we're thankful for this military operation this morning, it doesn't even capture how incredible it is.
That is the sentiment that America should have. But you and I both know that's not the sentiment that certain people on the left will have. So, Jake Tapper, spare me.
But if you were wondering how the success of that operation might affect the president's posture toward Iran moving forward, wonder no longer. He has just threatened Iran in extraordinary graphic terms, giving the Iranian regime just over a day to either make a deal, reopen the Strait of Hormuz, or face hell. If your children are watching, be warned, the president did not use polite language.
Jake Tapper, get a life. I'll show you here once again some of the images as they unfolded. And this is some video footage of the wreckage of what was left. So for everyone that's betting against America, you're betting against the president, you're betting against the United States military, I want you to look here at what the United States military will do and what we will sacrifice to get our guys and to get our guys home. Let that sink in. Iran, if I were you, I would come to the table. I would come to an agreement because you've just got a bunch of really fed up United States military and special force operators that now know that we can do what we want, when we want, where we want, and for as long as we need to finish this mission. I'll say this, one final note, and this is important. A lot of the details of this operation are going to stay classified, and they should. The methods used to find that airman, the units involved, the specifics of the infill and the exfil, that's information that is protected, and it protects the next American who goes down behind enemy lines. So when you see people trying to break the inside scoop on exactly what went down, be skeptical. The less Iran knows about how we did this, the more likely we can do it again. Today, celebrate this. Our military went in 200 miles into enemy territory, risked everything, and brought out one of our own, brought them home. That's America. I'll see you in the next one. And if you want to see the live stream as everything unfolded, you can watch that here with a direct link to the live stream last night as it all happened in real time. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.